Donald Trump was the target of an apparent assassination attempt Sunday in Florida, the FBI said, with the Republican presidential candidate's campaign and law enforcement reporting he was safe and unharmed. The U.S. Secret Service confirmed one or more of its agents opened fire on a gunman located near the boundary of Trump's golf course, and that an AK-47 style rifle with a scope was recovered along with a GoPro video camera. Amid the confrontation with the Secret Service, the suspect bolted out of the shrubbery he had been hiding in the escaped and also escaped in a black car. A witness helped police identify the vehicle and authorities tracked it down. Well, to discuss this, I'm being joined by Dr. S.A. Sikanku, Special Correspondent and Associate Professor of Journalism, Mac Ghana. Thank you for being here with me this morning. Now, what are the implications of this assassination attempt on Donald Trump's security measures and also, not forgetting, to his campaign strategy? You do recall that just as everyone saw the first one, now this is a second. What are the implications? And most importantly, what do you make out of this?
Thank you very much. First of all, it represents another dark moment in a campaign which is already very high stakes in terms of the tenor of the campaign. What this means is that security has become another major issue in this particular campaign. But it is significant to note that this is the second attempt in as many weeks on Donald Trump, and he has been the subject of a second assassination attempt. You all know the first one that happened at the rally. And so it raises a lot of implications, first of all, for security surrounding both candidates, but especially Donald Trump. The first time this happened, we know that there were concerns about the Secret Service and the FBI in terms of their own internal processes and in terms of them passing on information and being more proactive in preventing something like this. It led to some resignations. Now it's the second time this has happened, and he was just a few yards away from the former president who was golfing. So it does bring to center stage the safety of presidential candidates in this particular election, but also for Kamala Harris herself, who as a racial minority definitely also faces some security risks of her own. But it heightens the stake in this debate. It makes an already very, very close race or an already very consequential and competitive race even more tensions. And so what this means is that it has raised the tension in this particular race. I think that is one of the major things that we are realizing at this point.
All right. How might the incident, the recent one just yesterday, affect the public's perception of Trump and most importantly about his presidential campaign as well? Let's look at the perception.
Right. So there are quite a number of narratives surrounding Donald Trump and his persona. One of the major perception narratives coming out of this is one of vulnerability. First time, yes, but the second time, it does raise some concerns. And so it definitely would raise or bring about some sympathy votes for the former president. But also it pivots him, or there are a lot of his supporters who are saying that he's becoming a target and that there is something probably right or important that he's doing. That's why he's courting this attention. But there are a lot of religious narratives as well. A lot of people talking about the fact that Trump has been selected by God and that he's a special person who God has selected to lead the country. And so he's surrounded by some special grace. So I think that is the second perception around him. And so in the eyes of many, although this is supposed to be a very dark and negative event, for many people, it also raised his image among his supporters to heroic levels. I mean, these were people who already adulated him, but now it has even reached an even higher crescendo. And if anything at all would cement the kind of emotional connections that people have in concerning Donald Trump in terms of his iconic status at this point. So I believe this is where the narratives or the perceptions are heading in terms of the public image of Donald Trump. But definitely very serious concerns for this happening in this time of the race and as close as possible to the election, but also in terms of the practical implication. I mean, this really is something that really could have had a very bad ending. And America is no stranger to assassinations of presidents. We saw that happen with JFK and with other candidates. And so there's a very real concern about the increasing spate of this. And I'm sure the other presidential candidates will also be taking precautions.
All right, special correspondent and associate professor of journalism, Unimac Ghana. Thank you so much, Dr. S.A. Sikanku, for joining us.
Thank you, sir.